Welcome to my new video. In my videos, you will not only find famous quotes and proverbs, but I will also explain their meaning. Because I wish that even after death, I can convey the explanation of these famous sayings to everyone. Please subscribe my channel to take this initiative of mine one step further. Without further delay, let the video begin. Grief is the price we pay for love. While sharing a message at a service held for British people in mourning after the 2001 terror attacks on the World Trade Center in New York, Elizabeth's speech said, "Grief is the price we pay for love." Although that can't help us when we're going through something difficult, it's definitely a reminder that if we have lost someone, we're so lucky to have had them in our lives when we loved them so much. When life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they're all the more determined to struggle for a better future. Queen Elizabeth II spoke this line during her 2008 Christmas address. Her country had service members fighting with the United States in Iraq and Afghanistan. Besides that, an economic crisis was bubbling to the surface, and the United Kingdom faced uncertainty. However, the Queen did what she often did: rallied the people of her country to count their blessings, live their best lives, and continue to progress towards better times. The devotion of nuns and nurses, the care of mothers and wives, the service of teachers, and the conviction of reformers are the real and enduring presents which women have always given. This quote represents this accolade for the strength and service of women in society, was made during the Queen's Christmas message in 1996. I know of no single formula for success, but over the years I have observed that some attributes of leadership are universal and are often about finding ways of encouraging people to combine their efforts, their talents, their insights, their enthusiasm, and their inspiration to work together. Her Majesty shared this wise observation in an address to the United Nations General Assembly in July of 2010. In it, the Queen admitted that she did not have all the answers, a rare moment of vulnerability for a royal. However, she followed by noting the traits displayed by all the successful people she observed: effort, cooperation, and putting their talent to work. That's the only job which matters. This quote represents, in 2012, when Kate Winslet was awarded a CBE, she told the Queen she loves being a mum, even more than being an actress, to which the Queen replied, "Yes. That's the only job which matters." It is a remarkable achievement at such a young age, and is testament to your hard work and dedication. The Queen was always quick to congratulate her citizens for their achievements, just as she jumped to commend teenage tennis star Emma Raducanu for winning the US Tennis Open at the age of 18 in 2021. In remembering the appalling suffering of war on both sides, we recognize how precious is the peace we have built in Europe since 1945. The meaning behind the quote: at a state banquet held in the Zeus, in Berlin, Germany, in 2004, she reflected on the impact of war on international relations and subsequent peace times. You can't look down to read the speech. If you did, your neck would break. During an interview for the documentary The Coronation, the Queen joked to royal commentator Alistair Bruce about the difficulties of wearing a crown. If I wore beige, nobody would know who I am. The meaning behind the quote, Her Majesty was known for her bright and bold outfits, a different one for every occasion, and according to royal biographer Robert Hardman, there was a very good reason for that. In his 2011 biography Our Queen, the royal author wrote, My favorite remark she ever said was, I can never wear beige because nobody will know who I am. I hope it arrives soon because I'm going on holiday. Meaning of this quote is, in the summer of 2013, royal baby watch swept the world as we eagerly awaited the arrival of the William and Kate's first child. When pressed for clues on due date at an official engagement, the Queen quipped, she was as keen as anyone else for the baby to be born so she could head off on holiday. It's worth remembering that it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. Meaning of this quote is, in her 2019 Christmas broadcast, the monarch recalled the world's amazement when 50 years earlier Neil Armstrong had become the first man to walk on the moon. Let us not take ourselves too seriously. None of us has a monopoly of wisdom, and we must always be ready to listen and respect other points of view. The meaning behind the quote, ahead of the 40th anniversary of her father's death, Her Majesty's 1991 Christmas message was one of reflection and hope as she encouraged people to acknowledge the views and aspirations of others. Over the years, those who have seemed to me to be the most happy, contented and fulfilled have always been the people who have lived the most outgoing and unselfish lives. The meaning behind the quote, an inspiration to so many, Elizabeth always celebrated the achievements and attitudes of others and encouraged us to follow in their suit. What were once only hopes for the future have now come to pass. Spoken in a speech in Dublin in 2011, Her Majesty acknowledged the long struggles between Ireland and Great Britain. Many dreamed of a time when they would work peacefully for the better of the entire United Kingdom. At this speech, she reflected that while the struggle long and bitter, they had moved past the strife and were ready to move forward to a harmonious and peaceful future for the next generations. When you reach a goal, take time to pat yourself on the back. You earned it. Your road might have been long and the journey challenging, but you deserve to acknowledge your success. It has been women who have breathed gentleness and care into the hard progress of humankind. This quote says that, indeed, humankind is an ever-evolving work in progress. Queen Elizabeth acknowledged the role of women, who often find a gentle, more diplomatic way to solve problems. Let us not take ourselves too seriously. None of us has a monopoly on wisdom. So it seems that even a queen knows that we must learn to laugh at ourselves once in a while. The queen was still a daughter, mother, grandmother, and aunt when not working in her official duties. In interviews, royals occasionally refer to Queen Elizabeth's dry sense of humor, which she displayed to her closest confidants. Cut loose, live a little, have some fun, by order of the Queen. Good memories are our second chance at happiness. Life is full of tragic losses. However, when we lose someone we treasure, we have memories to cherish. Of course, grief is awful and painful. But as time passes, you can always smile back at the good times with your loved one. Work is the rent you pay for the room you occupy on earth. Here is a tidbit many people don't know about the Queen. She was incredibly close to her father, King George VI, who passed away in February 1952. As World War II raged across Europe and bombs dropped across London almost daily, her father tried to keep the troops and people of her country hopeful. Still a teenager at the time, Princess Elizabeth did an incredible act of selflessness that inspired millions. In 1948, 18-year-old Elizabeth knew that she must display leadership. After all, she would one day lead her nation. So, she drove an ambulance in the Auxiliary Territorial Service to add to the war effort. Not only did she learn to drive the ambulance, but she also trained as a mechanic and fixed the vehicles too. To this day, the Queen is still the only female in her family to have army service. Although born into wealth and luxury, young Elizabeth knew the value of hard work. Family does not necessarily mean blood relatives, but often a description of a community, organization, or nation. Meaning of this quote is, family can be a very sticky, messy business. Blood relatives have spats, jealousy, and infighting. Sometimes you must find your soul tribe and make your own family. We all need to get the balance right between action and reflection. With so many distractions, it is easy to forget to pause and take stock. This quote represents, some people overthink. As a result, they freeze and fail to act when they should. Conversely, others act on impulse and make rash decisions they later regret. The advice from Queen Elizabeth? Take that deep breath, pause, and decide wisely. Cowards falter, but danger is often overcome by those who nobly dare. This quote represents, almost everyone admires those who are bold, courageous, and daring. They are the people who take calculated risks and change the world. So be bold and do a random act of kindness today. You'll feel so good that you'll want to do another. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel. Stay motivated, share with your friends, and motivate others.